broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey there, Grimm fans! Welcome back to AFTERBUZZ TV for the Grimm After Show! Whoa! Whoa, that was a hell of a mid-season finale, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Zach Wilson. Tweet at me throughout the week, throughout the show, throughout the holidays, at that Zach Wilson. This episode, Wesen, Nacht. And let me introduce my fantastic panel. It's going to help me recap it, review it, and discuss the heck out of it. Tauri Miller.
Hey, I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Tauri J. It's TauriJay.
Yael Tygiel's bright and chipper.
That was so smooth. You can find me online at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And I am live in the chat room with you guys. You've already started talking, and I'm trying to catch up. So slow it down.
Everybody relax.
Nice and slow.
Yeah.
I mean, don't relax. We have a lot to talk about tonight.
Get pumped!
But the quote this week. Awake, arise, or be forever fallen.
That was beautiful.
Perfect.
That's a quote, obviously a quote from John Milton in Paradise Lost.
Yeah.
The tale of the devil.
Oh.
Interesting.
I mean, do you know this?
Fun fact, I don't read. If anyone who watches the Librarian After Show is fully aware of how much I don't read.
Okay, Paradise Lost is about the fall of Lucifer from heaven.
Oh.
It chronicles that, his journey dealing with that. I can't say I've read it in detail. Spark notes. But that's the basic story, which in the case of this episode and the big twist at the end, I think is particularly appropriate because of the fall from grace and then finding a new purpose to who you are.
Okay.
Interesting.
And reinventing yourself after losing everything, including maybe your life. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to talk about before we can get into that reveal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right.
I want to talk real quick about the episode title because I realize not everybody may be aware of this.
Oh yeah. I guess I take that for granted a little bit.
Yeah, me as well.
Yeah, I had no idea.
So
Really?
Yeah.
The episode title, Wesen Nacht, is based off the historical event Kristallnacht, which translates to Crystal Night or the Night of Shattered Glass. And it was during the Holocaust, during World War II, when Jewish stores were vandalized and broken and their shattered glass was left on the streets. And people were murdered. And
that's part of why this episode, the way it opened with that scene, I think for me was one of the scariest moments in Grimm to date. Because of how real it is.
Yeah.
And like that's again and I've said this on other shows, especially like we're talking about Jessica Jones a lot here these days. But just it's a very, and Grimm I think does a great job with it, is using this lens of the supernatural or powers or like creatures coming to life hidden around you. They use that as a way to talk about very real world issues. We dealt with gay and interracial marriage a couple seasons ago with Monroe Lee.
Last season.
Was that last season?
That was last
Feels
season.
so long ago.
Yeah.
They've just been, because they're such a great couple, we figure they've been married forever.
Yeah.
But they used that lens, and we had mixed feelings about the way that it was done and everything. But this, I thought, was a very well done analogy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it evoked that fright of like they just smashed in windows, targeting people, dragged him into the streets. This guy who's like he owns a flower shop.
Yeah.
He's never he's never harmed anyone a day in his life. Like, this peaceful person just dragged into the streets and had his throat ripped out by a Scallengag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D-bag Scallengag.
I like your names for everyone tonight. What was Xander's name? Xander McJerk.
Jerkface. Yeah, Xander
Oh, yeah,
Jerk.
Xander. Well, yeah. So the other person that's taken is Xander or Xander McJerkface.
Yeah.
And I like that actor. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. He's
Tell
good.
me,
Yeah.
so this was a new Wesen that we have, and he's kind of a blowfish. And I was told that, thank you so much to Grimmaniac Daniel, who sent me tons of information, including that his name translates to cowardly slug vaguely from German. How is it pronounced, Zach?
See, here's the thing. I don't think this is entirely fair because normally I have the show to pronounce it for me, but they never said it on air.
Are you sure?
No,
Did they?
Yeah.
Did I
Sure
blink?
they did.
It was because I have it written down here.
What'd you
somewhere.
write?
All right, well, I'm going to give it a shot regardless.
He wrote
but
it
thank
out
you to
phonetically.
Grim Wiki for
Grimmaniac,
Grimmaniac of the Grim Wiki
Yes, Daniel.
for sending it aloud to us.
He gets specific props because he sent it directly to us.
Yeah.
It was a Hasen Fuziga Schnecke. Hasen Fuziga Schnecke.
I wish Damien was here to correct you.
I don't see. The thing is, like, I've got it like spelled out, like supposedly phonetically, but I think that's actually making it harder.
Right.
A Hasen
Fusigen Schnege.
Fuziga.
Yep.
Nope. I'm adding extra
like a
syllables. There's
sneaker
definitely 3 extra syllables in
Definitely
that one.
are. Good.
Is it
and
supposed to? Am I accidentally making it sound Jewish?
I guess. Everyone in the chat is being like, they definitely said it.
Okay, I blinked.
Yeah.
With your ears.
Yep.
I
That
missed
happens.
it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it translates
giving you-
loosely to
I
cowardly
was
slug.
I was too excited by everything else going on in this episode that I missed that because Trubel is back, like
Yay!
truly back with us.
When she's woken up, I'm sorry. So she's having her nightmare and she wakes up and Nick is there holding a crying baby and goes, "Oh, did I wake you?"
Yeah.
Yes! You're holding a crying baby.
Did you wake her?
mean-
I get that it's not a very big place, but like, sorry I woke you.
No, I'm sorry. Let me hold this alarm clock over your head. Did I wake you?
Well, in his defense, she has been asleep for 25 hours. I imagine they like drew on her face, washed it off,
Yeah.
like moved her around, like did a bunch of other stuff. Just
Took
because, like,
photos.
yeah.
I mean,
she's-
they did have that awkward. They did have to do that awkward off-screen thing of changing her clothes for her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Nick and Trubel are very much brother and sister,
Yeah.
especially when she's crying and she sees him and she's like, why do I always do this when I'm around you? It's so cute, brother sister. That's how I am with my brothers.
Yeah, totally.
I love them.
I like that the chat roll, like a few of them are like just ripping into me, and a few of them are trying to defend me. Lydia, let's not torture Zach by making him pronounce it.
Whatever. I
And
like
then James
of the
Moran, Zach, one day you will pronounce it right.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, and the gamer girl is pointing out that Damien should be here every week to help Zach with pronunciations.
Yeah.
No one's arguing.
All right.
So I feel like I know that Nick was being very nice about like not pressing her for details immediately, but I felt like he could have gotten a lot more out of her.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
I get that she was just through a lot of trauma, but they were really tiptoeing around the like, what is everyone's purpose? What is the uprising? What is your role in it? It was just like, tell us what you want, you know, enjoy some pizza.
Yeah. I did like her little like smorgasbord of leftover food
Yeah.
that they've collected. Made me hungry. But I did love that we got some details. Hey, guys, called it. We called it.
Which
Oh, yeah.
part? We called a lot.
Yeah.
Well, the SGO, secret government organization, is in fact a secret government organization.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
Hadrian's Wall.
HW not better than SGO.
No, not at all.
I mean, that'd be a really weird title for, like, actual title for a government branch, though. Yes, I'm from the secret government organization.
Which one? Secret government.
No, I'm sorry. I work for the SGO. What's the SGO? I cannot disclose. That's above your pay grade. Done. Right there.
Yeah.
But HW. I'll show you my HW in a second.
Will you?
No, I'm frustrated.
Okay.
Go on.
I was before the show. I felt like there was some significance to the name Hadrian's Wall, and it's this wall that was built in Rome. And what?
What, you Googled?
I did. Yeah.
They also talked about it briefly.
When?
Hadrian's Wall, when she introduced it, she refers like, oh, it's the ancient story.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't feel like that was sufficient. Go on.
Yeah. Well, like I guess it was built, and there are a number of different historical theories as to why it was built. But essentially, the main thread of it is that this guy got a divine belief that he had to build this wall to keep out the one of the things said the scoundrels. Another thing said to essentially quell a rebellion. So I think that is the main thread of why it's called Hadrian's Wall.
I like that, at least. Hadrian's Wall is a weird title for it's just a weird title for an organization.
Yeah,
it doesn't have like that powerful ring to it.
Ivan is pointing out that it's a real thing. We get it. Thank you. I'm sorry that I'm dumb.
No, Tauri. Thank you, Tauri, for bringing us a book report.
Great. All right. Cool.
I did my book report. You did yours. Wow.
Yeah.
We're on top of it, Zach.
Oh yeah. That's how
What was your book report?
On Crystal Nacht.
Oh, and then I did mine on Paradise Lost.
Awesome.
Yeah. We all did our homework, guys.
And that's the show. Thanks so much, guys. See you next week.
My name's Tauri Miller. You can find me.
Well, just digging into Trubel's story. So Trubel comes back here, and I like Mr. Goku Jr.
Yes.
Frequent guest in the chat roll. This is a great way of putting it. I don't know if we've compared a lot of people and a lot of things on the show to Buffy.
Yeah.
But he points out she's what Buffy would have been if she didn't have any friends or family. And I think it's a very accurate way of looking at it. That, like, powered person just, like, forced to deal with these monsters, but with no support structure.
Okay.
I could see that.
I just thought it was a cool observation.
Well,
Yeah.
So the way it looks like we're going, especially with the introduction of the SGO and more about the uprising, and I hope this doesn't cut me off if I go too much into promo for next week, but I'm trying not to say anything. But I feel like we're heading towards a shift in the way the show is going, where we're less Wesen of the Week and more this new SGO organization. And I think that we're all right. I'm gonna wait. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. No spoilers until the
because there's a lot I want to say.
Wall for predictions. Yeah, there's a lot of information out, so stick around for that. But I thought it was I liked their conversation that she's giving him this information. She shows off the bike, and Nick's like, "Yeah, I tried that one."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But all of this is building towards something. It's interesting to see where Trubel is, and I'm not. So she's like a spy now.
Yeah.
Like she's employed by this government agency. Apparently they pay her pretty well.
In cash.
Yeah.
And she gets to travel.
Yeah, I like that she finally has a place where she feels like she belongs. I don't know how much of that feeling is like that she feels, but I feel like this is her doing what she was meant to do. Because, like, she's always been, like, a classic Grimm, and now she can put that to use without any, like, real legal repercussions.
Oh, especially when she says, like, I was doing what Grimms do.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting to hear and to see her say it to Nick, who is, like, the Grimm not doing what Grimms do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just to clarify, because everyone in the chat roll is like...
Yeah.
This is the mid-season finale. We'll be back in January.
Right.
Not next week.
Yes.
Joe, we weren't ending the show.
No. But the promo.
Right. Next episode.
Anyway. Yes. No.
I'm Tauri Miller.
You're on top of it.
No,
Wait,
we have
stay
way
out of-
more to talk
stay out of
about.
the chat
Way more
roll,
to talk
Zach.
about. Okay. Sorry.
Let's talk about the
Trubel and...
Yes.
So, okay.
Trubel has a bomb-ass job.
What I love about this reveal that it is a government organization, like we've been yelling about it.
the SGO.
Yes, the SGO.
HW, the SGO.
But what I love
HWSGO.
about it is what it implies about the world at large, because you guys know I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we got a bunch of it in this episode.
There was a part that I was sitting there being like, Zach's probably giggling like a little girl.
Yes. But the idea, so this means that the government is aware, like the U.S. government is aware of Wesen, at least parts of it.
Yeah.
Enough that there is a force that is tasked with dealing with Wesen specific problems. Meisner works for them. It may or may not lead them. Is sort of like.
Wait a second. Okay, so you've been talking about how Meisner isn't really a merc.
I don't think so.
So that means if he's part of the SGO, HW, he was undercover as
As a merc.
a merc, right? Like the way cops,
Yeah,
narcs
basically.
go
Yeah.
undercover.
That's like he infiltrated the resistance as a mercenary
Right.
on behalf of the SGO.
He's so much more complicated than we ever thought, and
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
It's like how a spy is essentially assessing a threat, because Diana was in the Western world equivalent to like a nuke. So he's kind of going in and getting the information and making sure it's secure, not in the wrong hands.
I wonder how much Renard knows.
That's an interesting, as like somebody who I don't imagine he knows about it at all.
Yeah, but like that's why it's interesting is how did Renard get a hold of this specific merc to send him in?
Well, I think they are aware of Renard.
Right. So
And
I just want to know I want to know how that all came to be.
I
You
mean,
know what
it's
I mean?
that kind of thing that, like, yes, I would love to see the details.
Right.
Yeah.
But you get why that's so, because like Meisner was brought in because Renard had hired him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it could be like a white collar thing where they knew that he was looking for someone, so he put himself in the position to be selected.
Exactly.
So excited.
Meisner's really been pulling the strings to everything on Grimm, I think is what we're sort of building towards.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So I fell in love with the right person
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 seasons ago.
Or did your love create like they're like, I think this guy should be important.
Nah, they're like, this girl's crazy. Correct.
Two could be true.
Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah. But so I'm very interested to see what Trubel does moving forward, like with this super spy lifestyle. Because in a way, they're both like doing the same thing. Like they just work for different levels of government.
Right.
And it's true.
I know.
And I mean, Nick might be tempted to go down that road. I can't imagine he wouldn't be, like, to be able to do what he does, but like with an official capacity and not have to worry about like police procedure
Yeah.
as much.
Though I imagine that. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I imagine that the SGO works a lot differently than Nick does. Like, I imagine that everyone that's working for them is straight up killing people, whereas Nick tries to at least stay within the bounds of whatever laws he's working within.
Yeah, I agree with you. Lydia in the chat said Renard knows nothing, but Vanessa in the chat goes, Renard knows something. They're like arguing in the chat. Love it.
You know nothing, Sean Renard. Nothing.
Sorry, now I'm thinking about caves. Go on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he likes blondes, not redheads.
Juliet.
Yep.
That's fair. But that was under a spell.
Love
no.
spell.
The first time.
Yeah. I was like, no, sir. You think I'm
anyway,
not counting who's hooking up with
Speaking
who, please?
of hooking up and the results of hooking up. Adeline.
Oh, I was like, where are you going with this?
No, Adeline. I mean, Trubel has a conversation with Adeline in this that was super awkward in all the best ways.
Yeah.
Like, so are you and Nick like a thing?
Yeah.
No, we're just sleeping together, but we're not sleeping together. You know, next to each other,
Yeah. That was
And then
adorable.
she asks, did Meisner say anything about me? That was the best part. Especially because earlier we had Nick being like, so you know Meisner. And Trubel being all like, well, I told him you guys would have to meet. Oh, we met. He saved your life.
Mm-hmm.
And now Adeline's like, did he ask about me? I'm like, yeah, guys, Meisner's important.
Well, Nick's basically like, he saved your life, but like, why? Like, who is this person?
Right.
Who is this man that you're bringing home, Trubel?
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to vet him.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he slept with Mom one time.
Wait, are we
They
now-
didn't sleep together.
We don't know that. But we're assuming that now Adeline is taking place of Mom.
That was the joke.
She's
It's
stepmom.
It's like this super... well, yeah, but like...
I'm not ready yet. Guys, I just want to be clear. As much as I like this, like, slow building relationship happening between Nick and Adeline, I'm not ready yet. Mom just left.
You're not ready yet. But I think they've paced it right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, like, they've dropped little bits of it, but like, and it's not that they've like I really want to hook up with you, but I can't because the memory of my dead wife or dead fiance. Like, it's not that. It's just that they haven't had time.
Right.
But like, there's clearly a chemistry there.
Yeah.
That I think both characters are aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But both are like, we can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Because that's real weird.
Yeah.
On so many levels. But it was interesting to see Adeline sort of, again, there's just more and more differences between Adeline now and Adeline Hexenbeast.
Yeah. I really like Adeline now.
Yeah.
I really like
Well,
who we
she's
have.
all the sweet points. It's not like we didn't see this Adeline before.
Did we?
I think we did. Like, it wasn't a big part of who she was, but it never, but like, that want for her, well, I guess the child was when she wasn't a Hexenbeast, but
Yeah, well, I'd say, we saw a little bit of her being a little more tender and sweet, but at the same time, before it was always to get something, and now we get to see it in a more genuine place, which is nice.
Yeah.
So I would say that that's the main difference.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's always been a part of her character. It's just the motivation behind it has changed.
I really liked when we had the manipulative, like I liked manipulative Adeline. I mean, it was a fun character to watch.
it was, but the character had to grow, and I think it's struggling with the losing the Wesen part of you and now having to rewrite who you are. It's a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also like that if we're going to see the sweet side of her, especially, I think we saw a moment of it when Trubel reveals that they know about the baby, and she was like, what? Like, they're coming after my baby? I was like, there's Adeline. Like, I want to see manipulative to protect her child, Adeline.
Yeah, I think we will.
I hope so.
I mean, it can only be a certain amount of time before she figures out that they have Diana.
Yeah.
Do they, or did the Royals have Diana?
I thought the last place we saw Diana was with Meisner on the helicopter.
And then Meisner had that conversation with Sean and said that it was a trade. The trade was they'd kill the king. I think Victor has Diana. Remember, we had a whole episode about this.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't really...
I don't know. I don't
can't
trust
trust
it.
what he's... Because as far as Renard...
You're saying we can't trust Meisner?
We can't trust what Meisner says to Renard,
Got
since
it.
Renard is like a third party in the
Sure.
whole thing. So as far as Renard knows, he's just this merc that like was hired by the Royals to do something. So that essentially placates Renard, and then also allows him to move kind of freely without having to worry about the Diana factor.
I think that there's a chance that the SGO has Diana. I think there's a bigger chance that Diana is with the Royals and that Victor has her.
I mean, I guess we have to find out. I guess I had assumed, like Tauri, like that was all a cover and that Meisner has Diana.
Because Meisner's a liar.
He's not a liar, he's a spy.
Big ol' spire.
I'll allow it.
Yael's like, he can spy on me.
I did not say that.
But so anyway, so
Yes.
with the question is, when does that become a problem, and why is Trubel back? Ultimately, like,
I think
she's been working with these people. Do you think she's there to recruit Nick?
Absolutely. I mean, she was saying that Meisner and Nick need to meet, right? That they need him, that they're gathering Grimms, that they're fighting this war. I think she's there to recruit him. I think she was on her way to recruit him, got sidetracked with a project, got beat up. And that's where we're at.
Okay. I had interpreted it as something like I thought that when she arrived at his doorstep, it was like she had gotten to the point where she thought she was going to die, so she was kind of returning home, and that like she felt like he was the only one who could help her or something. Which, I mean, is all speculation, but I mean, that's what I would do. I would return to Nick's house.
To Nick's loft.
Yeah. His
warehouse.
Yeah.
Bunker.
Which is funny because after all the work he went through to make sure that no one knew where he was, it's like, no. They've known where you are this whole time. You're never safe. Everything you do is under surveillance.
I was thinking the same thing, that like, no, we're going to live in this bunker because it's the safest place and no one's going to ever find us except for Trubel and Meisner, who bring the trouble with them.
Yeah.
Not our friends who help us out all the time. Not the police who are part of the Scooby Gang.
Yeah.
No, they can't know where we are.
No.
No, but the SGO, that's who needs to know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just she hacked his phone from a magical little like thing in her speedometer.
I mean, I feel like they could have just looked up as we said, the GPS on the phone with the thumbprint.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what they,
That would have been so much easier. Like, okay, got it.
Yeah, he literally like
Chavez's
had
phone.
one of your tracker devices.
Yeah.
I mean, she probably is just like, this is more fun.
Yeah.
It's like, I can do this, so I'm gonna.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's break down the actual like bulk of the episode.
Sure.
Which was the terrorist attack, the Wesen Nacht.
Yeah.
From the uprising.
Yeah.
Still the best we have.
The Claw or the Uprising.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anyone on the show call it the Claw, so I think the uprising.
I believe in an interview with Sasha, he said Black Claw. Oops, was I not supposed to say that? I think that was a thing that happened. If you want to find that, it's available on Yael.tv.
The Black Claw.
Ironically, always red.
Yeah, I also was thinking that. I was like, I don't think it's called Black Claw, but whatever.
Well, let's just call it the Claw for now until we get clarification.
Uprising, Claw Uprising.
The Claw.
Wesen, the Revolution.
Club Rising.
Yes.
No. So after they take this, and they had a picture of Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, so they kidnapped Xander McJerkface.
Yeah. Black shirts. That's what they kept referring to them this episode.
Yeah.
Black shirts, which I'm like, we found this in your room.
You own a black shirt.
$9.99 at Target.
Yeah,
I'm wearing a black shirt.
Yeah, I have a black shirt on.
You're in a gang, guys.
Ivan in the chat says that that it has been called Black Claw. and Lydia confirms it, but also the red Black Claw. That's funny. That the black shirts is a historical reference.
Is it?
I didn't know that.
We've already given our history lessons, so it's up to you guys.
Yeah, we weren't given that assignment. I think Dylan has that one, and he didn't come to class today.
Guys.
Damn it, Dylan! Damn you, Dylan!
But speaking of the black shirts, we meet Billy, played by Madeline Brewer, who is Trisha Miller from season 1 of Orange is the New Black.
Oh.
Those who may remember, she's the blonde with the cornrows and the tattoo on her neck.
Oh yeah, that's
Season
where
one.
I noticed her.
Yeah.
I was like, she looks familiar, but
I spent the whole episode being like, I feel like this girl's on meth, and I can't figure out why. Yep.
So the rest. But why do they have a picture of Monroe if they were?
I have a theory.
Okay.
Okay, so they took Xander. They knew that Xander.
Oh, Xavier.
Xavier, whatever.
They're right. We've been calling him Xander.
Well, we're Buffy fans here. So Xander.
I mean, Xander's in jail, so Xavier is
Yeah.
a bad guy now.
Same.
Sorry, guys. Thank you, Shadow. So Xavier was taken, and they show him the picture because they think he might know Monroe, and Monroe is famously the Wesen who's helping the Grimm.
Right.
I believe that's why Monroe is being targeted.
They want to get Monroe to like lure Nick into the trap,
Right.
As opposed, but this way works out well for them as well. For them
Yeah.
too. Well, it got their plan to the
Yeah.
next step.
Right.
Which, as soon as Xavier like looked at the book and then didn't give away the first guy, but gave away the girl, I
Yeah.
was like, "It's a trap."
What is it? Yeah.
It's a trap.
There's a trap.
No, mine's the better.
But you guys don't have enough jowl.
Do it.
There's a trap.
Yeah, Tauri wins.
You win, Tara.
Yeah.
You win.
Thanks, guys.
Good.
Oh my
about
god.
the
I'm doing.
jowls.
I don't know if you know this. I'm doing an impersonation of Sheldon Cooper doing it. Just to be clear.
Yeah.
I can only do the Sheldon Cooper doing it.
Okay.
Can you tell me more about it? Which episode specific?
But yeah, I mean, like while they're walking, I'm like, guys, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
Yeah.
And Monroe's on the phone. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Rosalie, just yell, it's a trap.
Yeah.
Yell, setup, something.
Yeah.
And then Monroe stays on the phone while they're running.
Yeah.
So good.
She's like, what's happening? We're running away from them.
I loved Rosalie in this moment. She was such a BA girl.
Oh, yeah.
Just like grabbing him and punching me against the dashboard. She has a rough past and you see it, you know?
Oh, you see it right there. I mean, he's like, when he like tries to open up the
Yeah.
the door, she's like, no, bam, right hook to the face.
I
Yes.
love her.
So good.
I really wanted her to Vogue. I know you did too. Her to Vogue. It would have been so good.
I wouldn't have been mad.
It's like me and the cat girl. Want to make her purr.
This is getting it's getting weird sometimes watching this show, especially with you.
No, it's getting great. It's never
Yeah.
weird.
I never
Always
said
great.
bad. Weird can be great.
Always
Keep
great.
Portland weird. You know.
Nice.
Vogue. Come on.
Anyway.
So it was a trap.
It was a trap, and they get cornered. They're very low on ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they get saved.
Oh, we're there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
People just start dying left and right, and then they just hear screams, which is harrowing. And then there's this mysterious blonde lady there.
yeah.
Chilling.
Who,
Did-
just to be clear, Meisner let out of a cage.
Oh, yes.
And that back of the head, all I could think was, that's a silly wig. Her was way too
I'll be
blonde.
honest. I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was Juliet in the cage.
Yeah.
Called it.
So, but to clarify, to clear up, like because we thought we ended this mystery already.
I think whatever you're about to say may need to go after the spoiler wall. Because all we've seen in this episode is him letting...
No, I was referring to a few episodes ago.
Okay.
When we opened the door to the cage and Trubel was inside.
Yeah. It was a hallway of cages.
Yeah.
But they opened that cage. It was the cage at the end.
Multiple hallways of cages. Cells. Let's be honest. Those are like cells more than cages.
I mean, the
but
only
yeah.
thing that I could think is that, like, maybe Juliet was, like, in there subduing Juliet.
I think they're separate cages.
Yeah, I think all their like, I want to call them rogue agents, the ones that are like Trubel and like Juliet, who started out on the outside and had to be brought in to be recruited. I think they all hang out in cages or cells for a while just to make sure that they don't go AWOL. That would be my assumption.
I thought that they had to be not so much AWOL, but like trained, right? So when we asked why,
So part of the training is you have to cage fight Meisner.
I need to join the SGO. No, so right, last episode we talked about why was Trubel in the cell? Because she had been bad and needed to be broken in and fight. Like that's, you know, how cults work. And so I imagine that Juliet was taken and they thought we could use this, put her in a cage and trained her. Kept her in a cell. It's kind of like, you know, like they're spies, right? They take somebody, they turn them. That's how you turn them. You beat the crap out of them, you reprogram them.
Right. Like in boot camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that they needed to reprogram Trubel.
I think she went, I'm assuming because she went back to the house to warn or help or do whatever with Nick. That was her, disobeying orders.
Right.
She was bad and had to go into the cage with Meisner.
Oh my God.
What a great punishment.
I also have been bad.
Okay, moving on.
Is it time for the spoiler wall?
Yeah, why don't we...
we have so much more to talk about.
We have so much more to talk about, so why don't we put up a spoiler alert now?
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Because I know
Spoiler
that I see
alert.
you guys in the chat roll yelling at us.
Yeah.
We know. We read the articles.
I tweeted out the article.
Yeah. Yael found this. Nice enough to send it to us.
But it was never said in this episode.
Exactly. As far as this episode is concerned, it was always just Juliet was standing there in a weird platinum blonde wig.
Or at least that's as much as Nick knows.
Yeah. So as much as we know.
Yes.
But the showrunners did confirm that this is not Juliet. It is a new character called Eve.
Yeah.
Who will have the memories of Juliet.
Yeah.
But not the emotions.
Just real quick, according to the article that I did tweet out, that HW is battling Black Claw. Is written straight up in this article.
Oh, all right. Black Claw. All right, sure.
I don't like it, but go on. I also don't like HW. Moving on.
HW versus...
BC.
This Friday night, it's Hadrian's Wall versus the Black Claw.
Not just Black Claw. Silly. Anyway.
Do you think that Hadrian's Wall has what it takes to take down Black Claw? I don't know.
So, okay, let's talk about Eve.
Yes.
All about Eve. I don't like the idea of she has all of the memories. She knows who Nick is to Juliet. She knows who Juliet was to Nick. But no, it's a different person.
Well, all right. So this could go one of two ways for me. This could be something amazing, or it could be something really bad, really terrible.
Boo says Eve is the Winter Soldier.
Kind of.
Yeah.
This could be something really good or really bad, and here's why. I mean, like, look, we all like Bitsy Tulloch as an actress. She's fantastic, and she was great as Juliet for these 4 seasons.
Yeah.
But bringing her back just to bring the actress back, like bringing a character back from the dead which lowers stakes. That's what you risk whenever you bring a dead character back, is that all of a sudden the stakes on the show are lower. Because however we brought her back from the dead, why can't we bring the next person back?
Right.
Now, I have a feeling it's going to be tied to her being this super Hexen beast. So that at least is not going to be like Claire's blood,
right?
For the Heroes fans may remember.
Yeah.
Something you have to ignore, basically. But I think that it could be. I think I like the idea that like she died and then is reborn is a new person. It's like
Yeah.
Well, so in the article, David Greenwald, one of the EPs or showrunners or somebody really important on the show, says it's a new character, Eve, who has not been brainwashed exactly, but she's been through some incredibly tough training where they broke her down to nothing. She's basically a super Hex and Beast weapon for HW to fight Black Claw. And there's a big scene in episode 7 where she's a completely different person who doesn't even relate to Juliet anymore, because to her, Juliet is dead.
Okay.
I mean, this is sort of
Which is what
Grimm sort of beat Game of Thrones to the like.
That's a theory, but go
The
on.
theory. I mean, it's a theory. It is still a theory.
Yeah.
The person,
Yeah.
just to prevent spoilers, that is dead, but person with a different last name
Yeah.
is alive.
Right.
Boo says that Eve could be Meisner's lady friend. Don't hit me, Yael. That's what she wrote. Boo, we'll have words later.
I like the concept of, if you're going to keep this character in, because she was, for all intents and purposes, a really cool character. She's our first like extremely superpowered character. So I like the idea of her staying, and I think that having her be this like new unemotional character kind of skips us through the part where everyone's like, how are you like reverted, or oh my gosh, look at everything you've done, because at that point she's like, that's not me, it's not who I was, moving on. So it allows you to continue with the story without having to retread old ground. And so I think I like that aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of this person coming back, and it plays with the idea of what are memories, and like how is she going to use those things? Like, does she even want to be with these people? This like group of people, does she care about them in the slightest, or is this? But like, we still want an emotional character.
Right.
Like, so this character is going to have to be something that comes back, the character's going to have to come in and really just start over.
Yeah.
They really do have to, like, that's why I guess the memories thing is a bit of a red flag, because as long as they don't lean on it too much, it should be okay. But if they lean on like her having all these memories a lot, then it's not going to feel like a new character. But if they really want it to, if they really want to separate Eve from Juliet, they need to give her her own unique emotional journey.
Right.
That is not connected to her being Juliet.
Yeah.
I feel like the memories thing is just so they don't have to, like, every time they talk about something be like, oh, sorry, you don't remember, but blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that's the whole reason she has the memories. I like the idea of them keeping Bitsy and doing this with her, and I think that's such an interesting twist, kind of. But, like, I would like it to be... I worry that we're going to get the thing that we had when Juliet didn't remember Nick, and he was trying to prove that they still loved each other. Remember when she was into Captain Bernard? And so he's going to want to try to win her back. And, like, we've seen that, and I feel like if we were going to do this, we should have brought her back once he and Adeline were actually a couple. You know what I mean? So that's not even an issue. Because now it's still, he has to learn how to work with this person who looks just like his...
I don't know that they're going to necessarily be working together.
How interesting that you think that. She's part of the SGO.
If Nick is going to be working with the SGO.
Then I feel like it's time to talk about the promo for next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next season.
Let's move into predictions.
And now,
Hulu didn't
your
have it.
AfterBuzz
well,
TV
let me tell you what's in the promo.
predictions.
So the promo is for, I believe, the next half season, not just the next episode. And we have Wesen saying, the days of hiding in shadows are over. Meisner's map makes an appearance, which was promised to me in this episode, where he goes, I have a map. And it's all over the world. We meet Eve, and that she's not Juliet. Meisner and Nick team up. They need Nick's help. The council is all dead, or almost all dead. There are more keys, and they're going to the Black Forest.
Yay.
That's right, they're leaving Portland.
Cool.
So like those are all the things that's what I was trying to avoid saying earlier, is that I feel like what we're doing now is it felt very Alias-like, that now, Renard's probably going to go on and run for some office and die, and then this is a prediction, there's no evidence to that. Prediction, Renard's going to run for office and die.
Renard's going to run for office, not just keep supporting the mayor.
He's going to run for something.
Which we got that other scene in this episode, by the way.
Yeah.
Which was like, they've dropped these scenes in that are so disconnected.
Yeah, until they go somewhere, they're pointless.
Well, I think they're going to loop back around. Like we have to assume that the guy who's running for mayor, what is his name, Andrew Dixon. We have to assume that he's part of like Black Claw. I mean, and so they're going to find a way of like essentially pulling Renard into their side. And so then it's someone who's part of the Scooby Gang who is on the wrong side for some reason or another.
Yeah.
I would think that would be the whole place that they're going.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think they're going to end up going to the Scooby Gang is now going to start working for the SGO, and it's going to be less they're cops and have to deal with the Wesen of the week, right? Because now Wesen are trying to come out, really.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to start working for the SGO, and that's going to become the new reality. It's going to become Alias, and I like it.
Interesting.
Each week they go to a different place to fight the Wesen.
It does stand again. It stands to reason with our prediction that the Black Claw's main goal is for Wesen to be living in public.
Yeah.
If they're going after the council,
right?
Because the council is the main group that is keeping it a secret.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited to see that. I'm really excited to see the world like coming into the forefront, like we like explode the mythology, kind of thing, like really just burst it out. I
mean, I can't beat that prediction because it's actually pretty good.
Thanks. I'm usually awful at these.
No, it was very well put together. So thanks. I'm gonna just say that I'm glad that we're kind of expanding beyond Portland, because in this episode they introduced the idea that this is like a global issue, and that like essentially there's this whole side plot line that's going on that it's insanely intriguing. There's this underground war that no one knows about that is has Grimms and Wesen working together to defeat this other group of Wesen. It's insane. That's great, and I'm glad that we're not kind of like hearing it at third party just from our seat in Portland.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of stuff. It's going to be really exciting. The keys coming back opens so much potential.
Yeah.
Get it?
Mr. Goku said that the keys open a portal to another dimension that will free a parasitic brainworm. I believe that is a Fringe reference.
That's a Shield reference.
My bad. Oh, yeah, good call. Good call, my bad.
But I think I would love to see it open up into the history of the Wesen and Wesen origins. I want it. Grim Redders, make it happen. All right, until January. We're not going to be back until a few weeks into January. I believe the 22nd?
I don't know.
I want to say.
Something like that.
I apologize if that's not the right date. But you'll know when Grimm's on, and then we'll be there following Sunday.
Yeah.
Right here live at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at AfterBuzz TV.
We'll definitely be tweeting out when Grimm is back.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, yeah. So until then, Yael Tygiel, where can everyone keep up with you?
Everyone can keep up with me on Yael.tv. That's YAEL.tv. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, everywhere. At Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL.
And I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Tauri J. It's TAURIJAY.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @ZachWilson, THATZACHWILSON. And a whole bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, but I guess the big one, Jessica Jones later this week. If you've been watching it, if you've been enjoying it, if you like the character Will Simpson, aka spoiler, you can join. He'll be joining us tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live in this very studio. So until then, till next time, I'm Zach Wilson. Thanks for geeking out with us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.